Well, we are on our way back from the Meadows to Brunswick. We have to go to Northfield first to pick up my traveling partner, Ava. For the better part of 2 weeks, she and I have been on tour as Ollie has been playing baseball and working out in Ontario. Amy and Addie were there also. So any opportunity we have to get together, to be together as a family, we take it. And yesterday, Amy knew after she woke up there wasn't a whole lot to do the next 2 days, and both Ollie and Addie Bear decided they were going to go back to Ohio. So we're all here today. Ava had danced today, dropped her off at dance. We're going to pick her up when we get back to Northfield, and we went over to the Meadows. Now it gave me an opportunity to work with Ollie a little bit with his pitching again and race Foxy Seaside. Now, right before I made this video, it dawned on me that Ollie's pitching is very reminiscent of Foxy Seaside's racing game. I'm going to tell you why. So, you guys know that Foxy Seaside has had a ton of speed. The speed has never been a problem with this filly. And mentally, she's there, but she will touch a knee, she will get out of gear, and she can be tipped over real easy. What I mean by that is, if she gets out of gear and gets anxious, she'll run, right? You saw it in the qualifier. She almost did it in Northfield in the mud. So when I trained her hard, training her by herself hard is no problem. No stress, no anxiety, just straight away, and she's fine. The stopping, the starting, the having horses around you, although she's done it her whole life, it becomes a problem for her sometimes. Because when you double her up and then ask her to accelerate, she will touch that outside knee. She doesn't hit it hard, right? That's what knee boots are there for. She doesn't hit it hard, but she hits it. And it bothers her a little bit less now than it did before, but it still bothers her a little bit. Now, after last week's qualifier, she made not one, but 2 breaks. We did make some changes. Now, she already had, which I've never had a ton of luck with, but, Old Horseman, first thing they go to, half run, half swedge up front, some borium on the outside of the toe along that swedge. And what, the theory behind that is they'll, and she stands out anyway, but she'll break over to the right or break over to the left a little bit more, maybe stay out of those knees a little bit. I can't say she stayed out of the knees a lot more, but maybe a little more, which is exactly what we were trying to achieve. Now, with respect to her hind shoes, she was cross-firing a little bit. We did go not just to a single trailer, but a double trailer, because she is not a wide filly, and I just don't think you're going to get her to widen out. I thought with maybe a double trailer, you would get her to slow down a little bit. And again, you're talking about a game of inches. And this goes back to what I was trying to explain to Oliver about his pitching. He's a 10-year-old boy, and he's learning to pitch. And when I was a kid, my grandfather, who was a pitcher, my father, who pitched quite a bit, who was a pitcher, when I was growing up, I was the same as Ollie. Now, I don't get to watch YouTube all the time when I was a kid and, watch videos and videos and videos of some idiot trying to explain to you how you should pitch and this is what you have to do, whether it be a coach or otherwise. I get to watch TV, same as every other kid. When I was a kid, it was Tom Glavine and it was Nolan Ryan for me. Of course, I was a kid in Canada, so, Dave Steeb and closers like that. Juan Guzman, great starter for the Blue Jays. But a lot of those pitchers had big leg kicks, right? That big, powerful leg kick. So I always did. And the one thing my grandfather always said to me was, do it the same every time. Find a delivery that you feel comfortable with, and then never deviate. Always be the same. Now, I'm not a coach, so if you're a coach out there and you're like, Anthony, you're wrong, all right, I apologize. If I'm wrong, then my grandfather, God rest his soul, is wrong too. It's just the way that it was. And Ollie, and Ollie's a kid that picks up stuff easy. He'll go and watch a video and he'll change everything. He'll change his bat. He'll change his batting gloves. He'll change his, his helmet if he could. He'll change everything. I told him you can't do that with pitching. You want to get down on yourself with batting and try new things, fine. You can work on that with your hitting coach. When it comes to pitching, you have to do the same thing all the time. If you're not comfortable, you want to change your delivery, fine. But it has to be consistently. And when you get out there, I know my son, and I know exactly what he was doing. He was seeing someone on YouTube, Ollie, if I was to guess.
And what was I doing on YouTube?
You were changing your delivery. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Remember when you told me the rocker step thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my coach told me to either do it fast or don't do it at all.
Few things in this world are worth doing fast, Ollie. All right? And when it comes to that that rocker step, as my grandfather called it. As a pitcher, it's just more timing, right? You let your brain focus more. I think, build the momentum in your release a little bit more. And I'm not trying to tell you, Ollie, I'm not trying to tell you how to pitch, but I am going to tell you that you have to do the same thing every time. And when it came to his delivery, he was rushing it. It felt rushed. He was spraying the balls all over the strike zone. And I said, take your time, slow down, throw the ball. Focus on the glove also. There's the other thing my grandfather said, you work on strike zones. You don't get a strike zone, you get a glove. Hit the glove. You can worry about your strike zone when you can learn to hit that glove where you want it consistently. So when you apply that to Foxy Seaside, right, those tiny, tiny little changes to her gait, much like those tiny, tiny changes to Ollie's delivery, make a huge difference. Because as Ollie started to change and relax and do the same delivery over and over again, he got to throw it harder, straighter, and faster, and he could hit the strike zone many, many pitches in a row. And much like Foxy said, that builds your confidence, right? So when you rear back to throw that fastball, there's a little more velocity on it than you remember, because your confidence you're brimming with confidence, right? And it's much like horses. Those little changes, right? That little trailer, that half round, half switch with the borium on the outside, but you won't need those forever. But to build her confidence and let her know that she can do her gait, she can do her job without hitting her knee, without getting out of gear. And when she does hit her knee, she can bounce off it and keep coming forward. Make no mistake, temperature is too high